Are you enjoying the spotlight, Tyson? Welcome, everybody. That means all of my fellow friends, yogis, and social media peeps. I'm here today to celebrate recovery, to celebrate moving through the very dark, dense discomforts of our being. So I wanted to do a little video here just to say we are here all together. You're not alone, even though there's things that you must do in your own way, in your own time. The sovereignty of yourself depends on you letting go of all the unknown stuff and all that everyone else is moving through themselves, because that's their stuff. The one thing you have control of is yourself. And what I've noticed, and welcome, I am Teresa Gagnon, your yoga guide. And this wonderful invitation is to let you know that yes, we all go through very dark, dense moments. I remember hearing my voice in my head just yesterday going, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. And then I heard my mouth saying it. And then my spouse is like going, what did you just say? And I said, I'm really in a depression. I am really in my dark, densest spaces. And it has been going on for some time. And then looking out at the bigger picture, seeing how the world is, I'm like, what's the point of me doing all this, showing up in my space and creating space for the greater good when I feel like there isn't the, say, surgence of light? And then I realized that's just where I was. I was in the very darkest places of my own self. And instead of going deeper and deeper into that darkness, I decided to look around and go, okay, I am grateful I'm here right now. Somewhat, because I was a little depressed and didn't want to be here. I understand. Yet, I looked around and had a beautiful sun looking at me for life, for light. And my daughter, who is so incredibly intelligent and outgoing, and my spouse, who loves me unconditionally, even with my conditions. That's pretty powerful. And I thought, well, what is this that I'm doing here? Am I not loving myself? They love me. How may I love myself? So this is all about loving yourself. I decided that even in the darkness, I know it's hard for a lot of us who are depressed to have the will, thy will to get up and do something, literally to get out. But I say don't get out. Stay in it. Hold your darkness. Hold that discomfort with love. Let yourself cry. So remember this. Let yourself be angry, not to hurt anyone or to, put it out into the world, but create a space where you can allow yourself this releasing or this surgence, this feeling, and be in your heaviness and your darkness with love. No shame, with respect, because this is a part of who we are. We have our darks, we have our lights. That deep breath and that letting go breath out is so important. So while I was in this very dark, dense space, I decided that I would choose, okay, everything begins in a thought. The emotion, the thought, could be negative, could be positive. Negativity, it's a cleansing and clearing. I've been thinking negative for some time now, and I'm thinking, wow, that's really dark, dense stuff that I'm working on. Gratitude for those negative, dark thoughts. Let me hold them with love. And then in that, I saw the light of my positive thinking, that I too have an experience to be in this world because I'm here right now. And I am gifted with this breath of life. And that I haven't shared all my gifts yet, so I still have some work to do. So I was uplifted with that positive surgence of trusting that I still have my work to do. So in doing that, mindful thinking, so remember, everything begins at a thought, negative or positive. You get to choose, and it's not right or wrong. Yet, I will give you this invitation that when you choose dark, negative thinking, you will be seeing the darkest places of yourself. May you be supported with the support systems that you need in order to shine the light when it gets really heavy, because you don't want to spiral down, trust me. I hold space for those that are spiraling, and I uplift them, and that's why it's important that I understand my own darkness and what to do to just to ascend. So it begins with a thought. So whenever you're thinking negative, my biggest thing is look around, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for what is. That is the breath in my body. Even Tyson makes me so happy. Yes, you do. Just the things that you know really uplift you and support you. Maybe it's a friend, a neighbor. Maybe you're alone. Maybe it's your job that you love. Maybe it's the walk in the forest. So I do suggest get out in nature. So here the invitation today is this. Look at what you're thinking. Choose your thoughts. These are your emotions. And be grateful for what emotions you are choosing, whether they're negative or positive, because then that's where the work begins, is then when you choose your thought, that's your emotion, then you align, and then you take action, okay? That's how this works. Everything begins in a thought, an emotion. Is it clear? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it dark? Okay, those are just the big contrasts, the black and the white. It could be gray. Maybe you're having one of those days where you're like in between. Be there. So it's not about rushing or running away from what you are in emotionally in thought. It's about looking at what you are thinking emotionally, because emotions are thoughts. Everything begins in a thought. I said that 3-4 times. You are in control of your thoughts. Yes, you are. And I know some of you are so down in your depressions. You do need perhaps the line of support, right? So I'll give you 2 links to people that I absolutely cherish for sharing and for giving the support for me to see the light in my dark, or to shine the light in my dark spaces, and not to shame myself. So this is about not shaming. This is about responsibility, owning, and the discipline of trusting whatever darkness, whatever negative thinking you're going through, that shall too pass, but yet you must accept that it is a part of you, and to hold it with such love, because it's the love that will dissolve the darkness, or let's say this, bring the light into the dark. And that's what we're here to do. I hope this makes sense for you. Everything begins in a thought, whether it be negative or positive. It could be gray, it could be in between. And then it translates into alignment and then taking action. And some days you're just on the couch, overeating, over drinking, watching horrific things, watching the horrible news, and that is the darkest of darkest. And know that shall too pass, because you get to a point where you're like, this is not healthy. This does not feel good, without the judgment though, the discernment. And then you think, well, what am I grateful for? That's the key. That's the key, I think, of the thy will to will thy wills. Well, I'm grateful I have a couch. I'm grateful I have food. I'm grateful I have the network or Netflix, right? I'm grateful I have a bottle of wine. So being grateful for what it is that is, whether it's good or bad, no judgments. And then you'll see yourself start to go, okay, hold myself with love, with love, with love, with love. And so instead of the bottle of wine, a jug of water. Right? Instead of laying on the couch, a walk in the forest. You see where I'm getting at? It does take practice and discipline. From my light to your light, I know that this is some very curious and very difficult times for a lot of us. Look to those who are bright. Look to those who are really enthusiastic and living in the light, so that their beacon will shine brightly for you. And maybe that will be a wonderful, lift for yourself. And if you're feeling dense and dark, just remind yourself that shall too pass, and you will. Please, I'm offering that you trust. The big word trust today. Ooh, and trust. Barking trust. Tyson, no thank you. So from my light to your light, I'm going to leave it at that. because I think he really wants to bark at that one. Trust. Okay? Yoga practice, mindful movement, meditation is the answer for everyone. Slow down. Tied up in those pants. And that's life. That's a wrap.